This is the segment that is 1000% for me, created by me, and for me to enjoy. And if you are also a fan of the teams that I root for, you'll also probably enjoy this. If you're not, well, I expect this to be probably our worst viewed segment on YouTube podcast. Like, if you want to ignore this part, that's fine. Go ahead. I don't blame you. Just keep on going. But it is Team Tuesday, so it is time to talk about the now 3-game win streak, the best defense in the NFL, the best corner in football, a quarterback who was up for Offensive Rookie of the Week, a coach who I had to hear all last year be told, oh, he's just a Drew Brees merchant, what can he really do? A defensive coordinator who gave up 70 points to the Miami Dolphins, and maybe I was a part of the fire him conversation. We'll never really know. It's not like it's recorded or anything. Of course, the Denver Broncos. First off, so I've done the last couple of weeks, I have talked about the improvement in coaching, Sean, Vance, special teams. I have talked about the improvement in culture. I have talked about the improvement in quarterback play. This week, this is about the fans, and more specifically me, and my friend Johnny, if you're watching this. 2015 Denver, let's go back further. Let's go back to 2013. The Denver Broncos set an NFL record for points. Still to this day, even with teams allowed to play 17 games, still the NFL record for points. Peyton Manning throws an NFL record 55 touchdowns. Demaryius Thomas, Wes Welker, Julius Thomas, Eric Decker. Great offense. No Sean Marino. It was wonderful. Rest in peace to DT. Bronco legend. 2015, the Denver Broncos win the Super Bowl. No fly zone. Von Miller, Keith Talib, DeMarcus Ware, Chris Harris. Fantastic team. Great team. I'm at the top of the world. 2016, not so great. Peyton Manning retires. Trevor Siemian plays okay, but not great. But you get to the end of the season, you almost got a chance, and you realize, okay, not gonna make the playoffs, about 2 weeks to go, play the final week of the season, and it's like, all right, we'll wrap it up. It's a great season. But here's the kicker to 2016. They end the season playing the Kansas City Chiefs. And this guy named Patrick Mahomes starts for the Kansas City Chiefs. This is when it all went wrong. You don't think much of it at the moment. But since that moment, the Kansas City Chiefs have a quarterback who's a 2-time MVP, has won 3 Super Bowls, and Denver has put me through 9 seasons of grueling hell. 8, but, sounds cooler. 9's a cooler number. Like I said last segment, it's okay to lie to me. I have seen Trevor Siemian, Paxton Lynch, Brock Osweiler after he gets paid, Brock Osweiler come back. I've seen Joe Flacco, who's apparently great for everybody post-Baltimore except the Denver Broncos. Case Keenum, who can work the Minnesota Miracle and then goes to Denver and just can't throw correctly to save his life. I've seen them pass on Josh Allen. I've seen Von Miller get traded. I've seen the no-fly zone get torn apart. I had to see Demaryius Thomas get traded. And I know, this is my fault. I deliberately accept the punishment that comes with the stupidity of being a diehard fan for so long. But in that process, between the many Sundays that were ruined by an offense that couldn't score 20 points consistently, and the many Sundays which then ruined the entirety of my week because Denver was 0-3, 1-5, pick a horrible record. They had it. We finally got to a bright side. Now, we had to go through a lot of coaches. I've seen Vance Joseph, the head coach. Not so great. I've seen Nathaniel Hackett. Do I need to say anything else? I've seen John Elway be the hero and John Elway be the GM who doesn't know what he's doing. Again, multiple quarterbacks, multiple coaches. Seen it all. And it was all bad. That was the end result. It was just all bad. But that's what really makes this kind of thing so cool. I said a few weeks ago, and I want to make sure that this is said and it's acknowledged. I said after 0-2, when the Broncos looked exactly like they've looked for the last 8 years, which is an inept offense, a defense that's just keeps you in games enough to give you a little bit of hope. And I thought, are we the Cleveland Browns? Are we the Detroit Lions? These just inept, dysfunctional franchises that no matter what's going on just can't seem to get it right. Again, Joe Flacco I thought was done. And yet, he played horrible for the Broncos, but he played great for the Browns. Played great for the Colts. Still playing great this year. Played good for the Jets. Played good for everybody else. Post Baltimore. Bad for Denver. There were other guys. Went to Denver. Didn't play well. Left Denver. Started playing again. I was like, are we the dysfunctional franchise that everybody laughs at? And when you're a fan and you are as mentally ill in deep as I am, you never look at the team that you root for as that. You never look at the team that you root for and you commit all these hours to watch and go, oh yeah, we're the laughing stock of the NFL. But I think we were. I think Denver at one point was so bad that, yeah. And this is coming into this season. Russ was a Hall of Fame, and I don't believe you lose your Hall of Fame status unless you do something just horrifically bad as a player or as a human. Russell Wilson was a Hall of Fame player. I still remember being excited when they found out we traded for him. And I'm a we fan, by the way, if that wasn't clear. I say we all the time. And Russ didn't work. And after 2 more years of Russ, 2 years of Russ, or a year and a half, or year and 3/4 of horrible offense, Hackett being a bust as a head coach, Sean Payton, I was at my own points concerned about, is he just a Drew Brees merchant? And we were 0-2, and I thought, are we the dysfunctional franchise everybody just laughs at? And I think we were on the precipice of it. And then it just got better. The things they had been working on, practicing, doing, executing, and it felt, I don't even want to call it an overnight success because I know there's a lot of, all these professional athletes, they do so much to get themselves into shape, execute, learn a playbook, etc., etc. So I don't want to call it an overnight success, but it did feel like, oh my gosh, the switch turned. Again, Denver loses the game in New York. Rain, Aaron Rodgers can't get the offense going. I've seen them lose that game every single time it's happened over the last almost 10 years. This game last week against the Raiders, I was sick Sunday, so I didn't get to see I actually fell asleep. I had to take a nap because I was sick, and so I wake up and they're down 10-0. And I think to myself, and we had all this momentum, in my opinion, going into the game, 2-game win streak, beat 2 good teams on the road, Well, the Jets maybe not such a good team, but what was a presumed good team, Tampa, who I do think is a good team. I thought, oh, we're just back to being the Broncos. And I always have these moments, I think other fans do this too, where you just think of like the craziest thing that could happen to like be to save your team. And we all think it, but it almost never happens. So the Raiders are driving. It's 10-3. They're about to go up 17-3, and I'm just like, yeah, pick six or a fumble recovery for a touchdown would just be great. And then PS2 picks off Gardner Minshew and runs it back 100 yards. And I thought to myself, there's a flag on the play, and I said, oh, there's a Bronco moment. And they picked the flag up because they said, hey, quarterback flopped essentially. He was just getting blocked, and he flopped. And then this offense that had been inept for years and was inept the last 2 years when trading for a future Hall of Fame quarterback scores 24 unanswered points. When that transition happens, and this happened for the Lions, and the Lions and Browns had longer stretches of ineptitude, you just, it is, again, I don't want to say it's overnight, but it does almost feel instant, where these comical moments, if you're a Lions fan, Dan Orlovsky running out the back of the end zone. If you're a Browns fan, take your pick of lowlights. And then those things just suddenly stop happening. Because you have better coaches, you've gotten better players, you have a better system, you have a better culture. And you just start to become a good quality football team. This is the most fun. Denver was dominant during the Manning years. Set an NFL record for points. Manning was an MVP. They got to 2 Super Bowls, won the division several years in a row. They were dominant. I think this is actually the most fun I've had watching football. Seeing them come from the dysfunctional, poorly run, everything that could go wrong does go wrong franchise to competent, clear, concise. There's a vision. There's a way they want to play. This is some of the most fun I've ever had watching football. And I've seen them win a Super Bowl. It's the sports, and I joke, but I'm still serious. It is genuinely a mental illness to love sports as much as I think I do and other people do. But man, is that feeling just the best. When your team starts being good. I got a lot of great moments in my life. Don't tell my wife, but this is on the high end of them. The Denver Broncos are a good football team. Not just good. Well, you'll see that tomorrow when we do our power rankings. And I predict, and predicted already, they're going to win the next 3. Chargers, who are banged up. Then they have the Panthers and Saints, and the Saints might be without Derek Carr. I'm about 2 weeks away for some really ignorant takes on the Denver Broncos.